So this is part 2 of Type 6, continuing with the Ennea app. And if you're interested in getting the app, it's ENNE capital APP. So the gifts of the 6 personality are they're very loyal, they're very caring and thoughtful, with many good ideas, and they're intuitive, sensitive, good team players. They're confident and responsible, sincere, warm, and protective, especially of their family. They can be very funny, fair, good leaders when involved, excellent ability to detect insincerity or manipulation. So they're a very good person to have on a committee or on a team at work. If you realize that you can trust yourself and others, what would your life be like? So that's a really good question for the 6s to ask themselves. As we've said before, courage is the virtue that they need. They need fear, which they have already, plus action. And that's the ability to acknowledge fear and doubt and yet stay the course and maintain faith in themselves and in the process. Now, the issues that come up for 6s is how to develop faith in yourself and the world in the face of all of the perceived dangers. And how do you deal with the associated fear and doubt? So the growth path for a 6 becomes one's own authority. That's really important for them to begin to have a sense of their own authority. To see others outside of hierarchy. To limit the tendency to over-question and project doubt onto others. Ask for feedback. Does my fear and doubt seem proportionate to you, or am I overreacting? Reality check with trusted people. Not with everyone and anyone, but have some friends that you can really go to, who you trust. Calm the internal voices, the pack of wolves, by doing some deep breathing. Go into stillness. Be quiet. Imagine the positive side instead of the negative. Don't focus so much on the negative. Say good things. Affirm good things are happening. Affirm the self and the positive aspects of the world and of your family life or your work life. And of course, trust in life. Learn to lean into your enjoyment and pleasure of the things that you really like. Notice the doubting mind when it arises and how it shuts out help and potential support. Do body practices to get out of your head and into your body. Go for a run, go for a walk, perhaps do some yoga. Now, tips for how to get along with a 6. Never abuse your power with 6s. Be sure to demonstrate loyalty. Gently redirect them to find their own authority. You can say, you can figure this out. You know the answer to this. You can trust your gut. They love to laugh and feel funny. So, enjoy their company. Be silly with them. And take them out to some lighthearted entertainment, perhaps. Show warmth, validate them, because they're always scanning to see if you really like them, and then if they sense that you do, then they'll respond in kind, but otherwise they may be standoffish and shy. Show them that you're predictable and consistent and someone that they can trust. Balance feedback. Strike when the iron is cold. So be gentle with them about giving them negative feedback, because they'll take that to heart. Reassure them that they're okay and that it's okay to be unsure. Nobody has all the answers. Don't interrupt them when they're trying to share. Let them have their say and then have your comment, because they can tend to get defensive quickly. You can be direct, otherwise they may project their insecurity. Now, at work, their assets are that they're thoughtful, they're very loyal, they're productive, They're able to analyze a problem and they're able to see the ramifications down the road. They're able to hold awareness of a variety of issues, especially attuned to potential problem areas. Precise in attention, clear in communication. Excels at creating, ensuring structure and safety. That's their big thing. Now the challenges, on the other hand, are to reduce or limit the problem searching, because they will overanalyze everything to death and drive everybody else crazy. Find ways to trust yourself and others at work. Take risks. Incorporate a new vision for what is possible. Share concerns and fears and invite collaboration. And again, invite feedback about those fears or concerns. And when you're uncertain or projecting, just ask, does this sound like a reasonable concern or not? Now, the subtypes, as with all of the personality types, there are three. So we have the self-preservation subtype, we have the social subtype, and we have the one-on-one subtype. So the self-preservation 6 feels safe with accepting and familiar people. So they have their comfort level, they've sort of tested you to see if they can trust you, and then they'll be comfortable. If they pick up any sense of dislike coming from someone else, then they will disengage. And one of the strategies that they often use is to please someone in order to win favor and to feel safe. I'm harmless, you won't want to hurt me, then good, we can relate. One of the things that they tend to do is, if they're sensing a threat, they will try to disarm you by allying with you. We're in this together. That can in turn turn into something ingratiating. So they're trying to butter you up, perhaps, to feel safer. They tend to use humor and charm and self-deprecation to make friends out of possible enemies. That can be a strategy of theirs. They believe power can be swayed by loyalty, and they will try to prove their loyalty. May counterphobically challenge when perceiving aggression or disapproval. So again, if they feel like that you're somehow undermining them or going against them, they may come back at you very strongly. Compared to the other subtypes with the 6, more nervously dependent, less aware of hostility generally, worries about the abilities to survive in the world, have scary, worse than can happen fantasies, tend to be suspicious, wary, extends warmth in order to test whether they can trust you. Bottles up their anger, feels as though anger will lead to rejection or disapproval, which is reasonable. So they may tend to, have an edge to them. You may sense that because they're afraid of expressing any negative feelings, that then you'll turn against them. Home environment is really important for the self-preservation 6. Home feels like their castle, a protection from the world. The self-preservation, of course, just the very title says that they analyze everything for ramifications about their security, not to make a mistake, not to jeopardize their family, their work, etc. Can appear, as I said, very two-ish. They can use flattery, minimizing, and I'm not that good, and they work hard to maintain that connection and affection. Now, the social type 6 is really into duty and fellowship. So the group. They have a passion for a system of reference, like the Constitution, the Bible, the Enneagram, the Quran. They contain their fear by deferring to a system of reference or the rules and the need for the group think. Focus on community, preoccupation with duty, obeys the rules without open challenge. So that's why they're very good in these situations like the army, etc., and feel safe. Especially dedicated to family, friends, and employees, may feel dependent on the group and on their employer. Can persecute others through aligning to a cause, tries to please the authority figure. So if they break the rules, or if others are breaking the rules, or if there's an innovation and you're going outside of the norm, this can cause them a lot of anxiety. And then they can start to be paranoid about other people's hidden intentions. So the group membership, again, is a guard against isolation or attack, safety in numbers. They can feel caught between the phobic and the counter-phobic, whether to submit or whether to rebel. Do I become compliant, or do I go on the attack to secure myself or my family? They will be very interested in hearing other people's opinions before they would express their own. And they may change their mind and agree with you, go along with you. Can be very passive-aggressive sometimes with authority. May come to resent a mentor or a boss that was previously romanticized as a great boss or someone whom they trusted and obeyed. When making group decisions, likes to play the role of the devil's advocates. They're the ones who are always poking holes in whatever. Feels overworked and underappreciated, may present grumpy and pessimistic. May appear one-ish. I am good if I follow the rule. And so then can be kind of conservative in that sense. Now, the one-on-one subtype for the 6. Their sort of banner is strength and beauty. They seek to impress their partner. If I'm strong enough or beautiful enough, then that will be appealing and I will be safe. May feel helpless and weak when needing reassurance or fearing abandonment. Feel safe when intimate partner is sexually moved. May hide behind seduction. And they monitor the thinking of those in power, displays power to counter uncertainty. Likes the feeling of swaying others to their point of view and enticing them in. Can be either cool and patrician or flirty and audacious as the situation requires. Again, the counterphobic 6 attempts to appear stronger and more seductive when feeling afraid. Focus on beauty and aesthetics eases the habit of worst case scenario thinking. So, go out into nature and beauty and go to the museum and allow that to soothe some of the anxiety. Worried a lot about looking weak. May act arrogant and to counteract that. Test others in order to assess their character or fortitude. Do you really want me as a friend? They can have a chip on their shoulder and be belligerent or explosive and insecure. Has a strong connection to the vanity of the 3, needs to be in fashion and seen to be that way. They can also appear 8ish in a powerful, tough talk, risk-taking way, and we talked about that especially for the counter-phobic 6. Now, examples. Celebrities: Larry David, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, David Letterman, Ellen DeGeneres, Billy Crystal, David Kahneman. Fictional characters are George Costanza in Seinfeld, Milhouse on The Simpsons, Walter White from Breaking Bad. And then politicians or historical figures, we have Richard Nixon, George H.W. Bush, J. Edgar Hoover, Malcolm X, Robert F. Kennedy, Krishnamurti, Arthur Schopenhauer. So these are just a few examples for you to think about that may help to identify with the 6 and the subtypes. Thank you.